My friends, this is Dr. B, the best doctor in medicine and the most caring doctor in medicine. I want all of you to never forget that after more than 30 years at high level in medicine, Dr. B genuinely loves you and Dr. B genuinely cares about you. Today, Dr. B wants to talk to you about the best way to prevent as you age. What is the best way to prevent this major heart disease called AFib, atrial fibrillation. Atrial fibrillation, a major heart disease that is the number one cardiac arrhythmia, irregular heartbeat. Normally your heart beats regularly, boom, 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 boom. As we age, as we get older, more and more people all over the world develop AFib, atrial fibrillation. It's the most common, by far, irregular heartbeat in the entire human population all over the world. It affects millions of people in the US, all over the world, right? And it's a dangerous cardiac disease. It's a dangerous condition because AFib, this irregular heartbeat, puts you at higher risk of developing blood clots in your heart. Then the blood clots gonna move up to your brain, cause a stroke, or gonna move down to your legs, cause an ischemia, gonna move the blood clot from your heart, is gonna be pushed into your kidney, cause kidney disease, ischemic kidney injury. It is a disaster, this AFib. Once you have it, your life is completely changed. Dr. B is an expert in heart imaging, cardiovascular imaging. Dr. B works every day in our beautiful cardiovascular clinic in the beautiful but expensive city of Mountain View, California. And every day I see a lot of people who have atrial fibrillation, men and women and everything in between, right? Young people in their 50s, in their 60s, in their 70s, right? And it's the number of people being diagnosed with AFib every year increases. It's a disaster. It's a dangerous condition. It changes your life once you are diagnosed with AFib because it's a hassle to treat. It's a headache for you to go through the treatments and everything. Many times this medication doesn't work, that medication doesn't work, then you have to have the interventional procedure. Some people need to have the surgery. I mean, it's a very bad condition to have. It's the same way if you are diagnosed with cancer. Being diagnosed with cancer changes your life, right, forever. It is the same for AFib, but there are ways to prevent it. We now know, scientifically proven, that many conditions increase a lot your risk of developing AFib. And here is the list that I have made for you. Hypertension, HTN, hypertension, diabetes, stress, this is crazy, via cortisol, right? Smoking, alcohol, obesity, not just obesity, but even being overweight increases a lot your risk of developing AFib as you get older. Sleep apnea. Sleep apnea is a disaster. I mean, if you have sleep apnea, you need to get rid of this nasty disease, right? Poor diet, right? Thyroid disorders, over endurance exercise. I'm talking about over excessive endurance sports, not just doing endurance sports like running 5Ks or 10Ks, but people who are overdoing it, who are training for marathon, pentathlon, decathlon, the Giro d'Italia, these cyclists, professional cyclists who do super long distance. So remember, endurance training is excellent for you, but excessive endurance training means super endurance training. Over endurance training is a huge risk factor, like all of these, for you to develop this nasty condition later in your life called atrial fibrillation, which is a nasty disease of the heart. So to all of you, regardless of your age, who have high blood pressure, diabetes, stress, smoking, alcohol, obesity, or being overweight, sleep apnea, poor diet, thyroid disease, blah, 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 right? The more of these risk factors you have, the higher the chance that sooner or later, who knows when, everybody's different. These are all risk factors. You can smoke cigarettes for 50 years and never develop cancer, but it's a risk factor, a huge risk factor. These are huge risk factors. It doesn't mean that if you have high blood pressure, diabetes, and or this and that, you will develop AFib. It means that you put yourself at higher risk, way higher risk. If I go under the sunlight, ultraviolet radiation, many years unprotected, eventually, sooner or later, I might develop cancer. I put myself at higher risk. Doesn't mean that I will, but it means that I put myself at higher risk. The risk of developing skin cancer increases with exposure to ultraviolet radiation. The longer you're going to have these risk factors, and the more of these risk factors in combination with each other, the higher your risk of developing atrial fibrillation. I work in a beautiful cardiovascular clinics, right? I check the heart of a lot of people. This changes your life. You don't want to get this. This is a disaster, like being given a diagnosis of cancer, because you won't get rid of this. Even if you get rid of this, there's a high chance of recurrence. And the only way nowadays to get rid of this, usually, not always, because the medications eventually do not work, stop working, people need to have surgery. Or at least, the surgery is called the Mays procedure, or at least have an interventional invasive procedure, right, that we call the pulmonary vein ablation. It's all hassle, a headache in your life. Don't you have enough hassle, headache, stress in your life with your family, your wife, your husband, your kids, your neighbor, your this, your that, with money, the rent, the bills, the more? Don't you have enough hassle, right? The last thing you want to add in your life is atrial fibrillation, AFib, because it's a nasty disease of your heart. So do everything you can to eliminate these risk factors from your life. And believe me, it's easy to do. It requires a little bit of willpower. Willpower to diet, willpower to exercise, not over endurance, regular exercise, right? Regular exercise, weightlifting, weight pushing, walking, biking, swimming, jogging, whatever the cazzo you want to do, it doesn't matter. Get your ass out of the couch and hit the gym, hit the street and go run. Go run, go bike, go swim, go whatever the cazzo you do, it doesn't matter. Get rid of that diabetes with following a diet, and it doesn't matter which diet you follow. There are 4. The keto diet, which is what Dr. B has chosen. The carnivore diet, I don't want the carnivore diet because no meat is going to go into my body. But if you like the carnivore diet, go ahead if you are okay with meat, right? The Mediterranean diet and the MASH diet. You have 4 beautiful diets that you have to choose which one is good for you, which one fits your lifestyle, which one you like, right? Me, the keto diet is perfect for my lifestyle, for my taste buds, for everything. So I'm sticking with the keto diet, but I'm not pushing it to you. Use the other diets. Try them. Trial and error, right? Get rid of this diet, this diabetes and high blood pressure by exercising, by dieting. Get rid of stress from your life, right? Of course, eliminate smoking and alcohol. Who is still drinking alcohol? Whether it's beer or wine or anything else. There is no safe limit for alcohol. Alcohol is a poison. It's a carcinogen. It causes cancer. It is a neurotoxin. It causes dementia, right? And it's a disaster. It causes liver cancer, throat cancer, bladder cancer, pancreatic cancer, throat cancer. And there is no safe limit, 0 limit for alcohol. Same thing for tobacco smoking or marijuana. There is no safe limit for air pollution. There is no safe limit for cigarette smoking or marijuana smoking. Throw these away from your life, right? Obesity and being overweight, well, exercise and diet, right? Sleep apnea, you need to get rid of that freaking sleep apnea. And the best way to get rid of sleep apnea is to lose weight. If you lose weight, your sleep apnea gonna go away. You won't need that CPAP machine, that disgusting CPAP machine that you have to have all the time, every night to put on your face, right? You won't need that if you shed a lot of pounds. Your sleep apnea gonna disappear, right? Poor diet, obviously, choose one of those 4 diets that I told you. Thyroid disorders, obviously, I hope your blood test that you do every 6 months is detecting any problem with your thyroid. And of course, over-endurance. Do not over-endure. Do not engage in over-endurance, except if you are a professional marathon runner or pentathlon or decathlon and you make money out of it. What is the point of running a marathon? Why don't you stick with a 5K or a 10K? Why don't you stick with long distance running instead of excessive super long? Do you know what I'm saying? You put yourself at high risk of AFib and sudden cardiac death. Every month, all over the world, super long distance runners or bikers or blah, 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 they suddenly collapse and they die of a sudden cardiac death. And in the long term, in addition to the risk of sudden cardiac death, where did I put my paper? You put yourself at high risk of AFib. AFib. So when you do super long distance running, super long, excessive, you overdo it, you put yourself at risk of collapsing suddenly in the middle of the race, like it happens all over the place all the time. Young people, 20, 25, 30, they just collapse in the middle of the biking, of the running, of the pentathlon, a freaking decathlon. What is the point? Again, unless you are a professional and you make a ton of money out of it, right? Otherwise, what is the point? Just stick with the long distance, regular long distance, right? Because you're going to collapse and die. Again, higher risk. I'm not saying it will happen, but just higher risk. It's like smoking. I can smoke for 50 years. Nothing going to happen to me, right? It's just higher risk. And in addition, you put yourself long term of having AFib. So get rid of all these risk factors, change your life, change your lifestyle. In medicine, we say lifestyle modifications. You need to get rid of all this. And remember stress. Stress. Where's the damn stress? Here it is, stress. You need to declutter your life. You need to do like Dr. B. Stress is going to decrease your immune system. It's going to cause you AFib, decrease your immune system, and therefore higher risk of infections, higher risk of cancer, because your immune system keeps you from developing cancer, right? It's called immune surveillance. And of course, stress causes chronic inflammation by the secretion of this stress hormone called cortisol. Cortisol is going to cause inflammation in your brain and it's going to cause you dementia. So stress is a disaster by itself. Having too much stress at work, at home, in your life is a disaster because it causes cancer, dementia, chronic inflammation, decreased immune system, and blah, blah, blah. And of course, now we know it's a risk factor for AFib. And remember, Dr. B never BSes you. Dr. B brings you the science, the scientific truth, the scientific evidence, and everything that I say is available based on the scientific publication, the scientific studies that are all billions of them for the last 100 years in medicine, surgery, pharmacology, human sciences, in PubMed, National Library of Medicine. So I'm never expressing my opinion to you. I'm just giving you the facts so that you decide. Okay? This is the fact. Right? I love you guys regardless of your gender, your ethnicity, the color of your skin, your religion, your gender, your sexual orientation, your political affiliation. I don't give a cat's about any of those. I love you regardless of all those. Kapkunna crap, sawadee crap. Put your comments, your questions, your criticisms. I'm open to criticism to improve myself, to improve this channel, right? And I will get back to you as soon as I have the time. Change your lifestyle. Wake up like I did 10 years ago. Right now, Dr. B, 50 years young. 10 years ago, I woke up and I changed completely my lifestyle. And I'm aging super gracefully. I love you guys. Kapkunna crap, sawadee crap. And I hope to talk to you in the next video. Bye-bye.